Based on the weaknesses of the Houston Rockets offensively last year, it seems like Kevin Durant is going to be a seamless fit into their team and will truly upgrade them to a championship contender in the Western Conference. During the regular season, the Rockets were in the bottom half of the league in three-point percentage, 21st to be exact, shot 35% as a team, and not only did they struggle to consistently hit open three-pointers, but generating them was also an issue. If you look at their top two three-point shooters last year, Jalen Green, 8.1 three-pointers attempted per game. Fred VanVleet, 7.7 three-pointers attempted per game. They were high-volume three-point shooters, but the thing is, 35% for Jalen Green, 34% for Fred, very inconsistent. But what KD brings to the table is high volume, but also reliable in terms of consistency. Over the last 3 years in Phoenix, he has shot 5.7 three-pointers per game, 42.7% from three. And not only is he going to take and make three-pointers, but also when he tries to ISO, at times he's going to attract double teams. And that in itself is going to help others get open three-pointers as well. And at this point, because Jalen Green was so young, Kevin Durant is way better at operating double teams and teams trying to take him away by generating shots for others. Surprisingly, in the playoffs, percentage-wise from three, the Rockets weren't bad, 37.4%. That's actually top three in the playoffs. The thing is, they were generating the least amount of three-pointers at 28.3 attempted per game, and that's easily the worst. The second worst was the Magic at 31.2. He's just going to make offense a whole lot easier in a playoff scenario because you can just give him the rock and he's either going to create a shot for himself or he's going to cause a double team and kick it out, and then you got some ball movement there. It turns out the Rockets were in the bottom half of the league, one of the worst in terms of isolation scoring, only averaging .84 points per possession. And guess what? Number one in the league were the Phoenix Suns, mostly because of Kevin Durant, 1.05 points per possession in isolation. Kevin Durant himself averaged 1.16 points per possession during the regular season. To put that in perspective, that's higher than Shea, who averaged 1.10 points per possession. Now, Shea had a higher frequency percentage, 25, and KD was at 18.9, so Shea was more impressive considering he ISO'd more. But that just puts in perspective how crazy Kevin Durant is. At his age, he's still one of the best ISO scorers in the league, if not the best. And why is he capable of that? Well, he's one of the best mid-range shooters of all time and still is to this day. And guess what? The Houston Rockets were one of the worst mid-range shooting teams in the league last year. 39.6%. 24th percentile. That is horrendous. Kevin Durant himself last year shot 53.1% in the mid-range, 91st percentile, and 4.6 mid-range jumpers attempted, 99th percentile. Not only does that help him in the ISO situation, but that makes him deadly in the pick and roll. If the team is playing drop coverage, he's going to make you pay. So a lot of the times he is the big converging on him and he's drawing two off the pick and roll, or they got to switch high. It turns out per pivotfade.com, besides catch and shooting, his most frequent field goal attempted in terms of the jump shot was 4.9 pull-up jumpers per game. And of course, he was efficient shooting them, 51.2%. The mid-range area in terms of shot making was pretty much non-existent for the Houston Rockets. Teams did not have to worry about it, but with Kevin Durant entering the equation, you best believe they're going to be covering that spot. I also think the addition of Kevin Durant, because he's so good offensively, naturally that should improve the efficiency of Alperen Sengun. Last year, making that defensive jump and all that effort on that end, but still having offensive responsibility on the other end, I think that really affected him. Kevin Durant should ease some pressure off of him while creating easy buckets for him. In terms of passing last year on the Phoenix Suns, the top two players per game that Kevin Durant assisted to was Nick Richards and Jusuf Nurkic. And the year before that, when the Suns were actually an average team, Jusuf Nurkic was also number one in that category. Kevin Durant is really good at finding his big man. But the most beautiful thing about Kevin Durant's game is he doesn't need the rock to go off. He can thrive in whatever role you put him in. One night he can have a heavy usage, and then the next night he can just be a catch and shoot threat. It turns out 55.6 of his shots were assisted. That just goes to show he can play and get his buckets in the flow. You don't gotta force feed him touches. But of course you want to, because he's so damn good in the ISO situation. And despite his age, he still has that winning impact. So the Suns were very, very bad last year. Everyone knows that. But in his 2,265 minutes, they only lost those minutes by negative 39. The reason I say that's impressive is because in the 1,701 minutes without him, they were a negative 207. And the year before that, when they made the playoffs, they actually had a positive net rating with him on the floor. With what they gave up, I think it was very worth it for the Rockets to go after Kevin Durant, because it really does feel like they are a KD away from actually competing for an NBA title. Now I want you guys to leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Who won this trade, all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe. Check out my other videos. Have yourself a great day, and peace out.